Hello, guys, and welcome back to the podcast. This is Paint the Town Dead, and I am one half of your host, Caitlin.
I'm Andrew. I'm the other one.
Hi, Andrew.
Some would say the better half.
Who says that?
Some say that.
Your mom?
Some say that. That's all I'm saying. I'm sure somebody out there has said that.
Sure, let's find them. Let's see if they exist.
That's not necessary.
Okay. But this is Paint the Town Dead, and this episode won't be like last week's. So whether you're happy or sad about that, these are the facts.
This is going to be much more of a normal episode.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah?
I'm tired.
Yeah? You did a lot of traveling around today.
I kind of did, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not why I'm tired. I was tired when I woke up.
Oh, well, welcome to 30 and after. For the rest of your life, this is how old
no. Oh, God.
And also you have problems with, like, acid reflux apparently in the middle of the night. You don't.
I mean, I don't.
I do.
I'm fine.
Yeah. And literally, we were talking about this at work today. One of my friends was like, she was like, I have this weird pain, like, across the back of my hip and, like, down the side of my leg. I was like, sounds like you have sciatica. It's what old people have, too. So just do some of your yogi stretches. It'll loosen up.
Yeah, there are a few times where I have a moment where it's like my body just like
falling apart.
Isn't good. Yeah,
It's rejecting.
I don't take good care of it, so it's fine.
Yeah,
it makes sense. But I mean, I can just gobble up all kinds of pizza and hot sauce, and
oh God, no.
Oh. I'm fine.
Oh God, no.
I mean, basically fine.
Yeah,
I don't have a reflux issue.
I just told you this right before we recorded. I've been on TikTok a lot lately.
You're too old for TikTok.
It's my new thing. I send people videos. It's my love language now. And there's this one TikTok. It's like, you can be the healthiest person there is. You can eat salad every day. You can run, 5 miles every day. You can never drink a soda or have any sugar. And guess what? You're still going to die. And I was like, yes, that's right. I'm going to eat that Kit Kat bar.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds like that bit from, there was like, I think it was a commercial with Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and it was Carl.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
And he was like, what are you going to do? Get six-pack abs and then get stabbed?
It's so true. Yeah, what are you going to... Everybody still dies.
Oh, well.
As we learn from this podcast.
Yeah, it's...
But hopefully not in a terrible way like most of our people have or do or whatever.
We have yet to have anybody not die horribly in one of these episodes, so...
Well, horribly.
I think maybe the Alamo episode. I don't remember anybody dying.
Yeah, the wife. Remember, she died of cancer.
Yeah.
That's still pretty bad.
Died.
That's pretty bad.
That is bad.
That's still pretty bad. And speaking of cancer, a very special remission for your dad. He's been cancer-free for, 2 years now? A year now? Something like that?
2 years, at least.
That's awesome. That's a not a fun road to travel down. I have seen lots of people like that, and it's not fun, but your dad's been strong, and that's awesome. So good job.
Yeah.
Good job, Dad.
Yeah. So we're all pretty happy about that because we all do like him quite a bit.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
It's not like, oh darn it, he made
it. Dad. I remember this meme, and it's this stepdad texted a photo to his stepdaughter. Sounds like they have a good relationship. She's like, my stepdad texted me this photo after he got out of his surgery, and it said, "I'm still alive, bitch." It was funny.
Sounds like when Ric Flair almost died from like a heart attack or something.
Yeah.
And had to go to the hospital, and the first thing he does is makes like a video, and he's like, "You can't kill me, MFers."
That's right. Still here.
Or something like that. Or, "I'm still alive, MFers," whatever he said.
Still here.
I don't know how he's still alive. That man.
How old is he?
He's quite old, but mostly he put a lot of miles on his body from doing the wrestling.
Yeah.
And also from being a horrible alcoholic.
You'd be surprised, but you know what? You know what comes and bites all alcoholics in the end, pretty much? Raging alcoholics, that is, that die a slow, horrible death, is they bleed out from their insides.
Yeah, it's a miracle he's still alive for so many reasons. Also, if you watch the Ric Flair documentary they did on ESPN, he like talks about how he'd like wake up, start driving to the next town, crack open a beer while driving. It's like,
oh my
Rick,
gosh,
don't do that.
I met somebody the other day who said that they drink a fifth of rum a day. A fifth of rum a day, which is not a tiny bottle.
Much.
And they said 6 cans of beer a day. And I'm like, well, you can automatically pretty much double that because everybody lies about how much they drink. So pretty much double that and you'll have an accurate. That's just sad, man.
That's insane. I don't know if I've ever.
That's a lot. I'm
trying to think if I've even come close to that in a single day. Like
never. Oh my, I would be very ill. But you know what? This person was saying, I know I have a problem. And, it's hard to admit that. So that's the first step. So I hope they can get the help they need.
Yeah. So you want to talk about really bad, horrible things finally? Because we've been talking about really nice stuff so far.
Yeah, it's been very pleasant, very lighthearted. So let's just get to the really dark stuff.
That's right.
Okay.
We are talking about murder stuff.
Okay.
Which is what we always talk about pretty much.
Typically, yeah.
Like 99% of the time.
Yeah.
This is going to be the story of Maurice Clemmons.
Oh.
It is quite the tale.
Okay, I'm ready.
So he was born in February of 1972.
Oh, young guy.
Yes, he lived in Marianna, Arkansas to start with.
Ooh.
Yes, that's East Arkansas. The county they're in is called Lee County. Mm-hmm. It's named after Robert E. Lee.
Ooh.
So it has the kind of history you would expect of a farming area in the American South.
Is that the Delta type area?
Yes,
it
is.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Gotcha.
And he had 5 siblings. Mm-hmm. And they ended up moving to Little Rock because there ain't much in Marianna, no offense if you're from there.
One true city, Little Rock it is.
Yeah, Little Rock is the one true city of Arkansas, mm-hmm. So you'd move there instead.
Yeah.
He had a lot of run-ins with the law.
Like what?
In this here Little Rock. When he was a junior, he went to Hall High School, and he was arrested and expelled for carrying a pistol on school property.
Don't do it. That's a bad idea.
And he said he had the gun because he had been beaten by some people before. So he was like,
well, that's kind of sad.
Yeah. So he was going to be ready for them. But he never goes back to school of any kind.
Oh.
Basically drops out as a junior. And so he's not going to be on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
For instance, the time that him and 2 other guys went and robbed a woman in the parking lot of a Little Rock hotel.
Don't do that.
He pretended to have a gun in his pocket, like they do sometimes in movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like, why wouldn't you show it?
Or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said he would shoot her if she didn't hand over her purse. She said, well, why don't you just shoot?
Oh, life advice right here. We sometimes have this segment. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Yeah. Well,
that was ballsy.
Exactly. He did not shoot her. Well, I don't think he had a gun.
Okay.
He did punch her in the head and took her purse, which had a whopping $16 and a credit card.
Was it worth it? Really? Was it worth it?
No.
It wasn't.
No. And he also got in trouble for burglarizing the home of an Arkansas state trooper.
Oh, bad idea. Don't do that either.
Yeah. And he stole a gun from that house, too.
Oh, that's a really bad idea.
And in court, he also acted violently.
Oh, dude.
For instance, he broke off a metal doorstop, hid it in his sock to try and use as a weapon later, but it ended up getting confiscated by a bailiff. He also took a lock from his holding cell, and he tried
lock?
It's what it said, a lock. I don't really understand exactly.
Like a padlock?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Huh, okay.
But he took that and tried to throw it at a bailiff.
These are very bad ideas.
They are, especially because he missed, and it hit his mother.
Oh, no. You jerk.
Which is a bad time. He also tried to steal an officer's gun when he was being transported to court one time, and also threatened a judge. So he was doing
terrible,
great stuff.
He needed an intervention way early on. Something happened to him, and I'm sorry for that.
It's only going to get weirder later on. Not yet.
Okay.
So this is 1990. He ends up being sentenced to a total of 108 years in prison for all of these crimes.
My goodness.
There was some other stuff that was like smaller, but also in there.
Yeah.
He would be ineligible for parole until at least 2015.
Hey, we've been there.
Yeah, we were there. It was fine.
6 years ago? Yeah.
It was better then.
What? It was better
The
in
world.
2015?
Yeah.
Yeah.
500,000 Americans didn't die from a disease.
Yeah. I didn't have terrible trauma in my life, so, things were different.
Yes, very different. If only we could go back and warn ourselves.
I don't want to. I just want to keep going. I made it. Just keep going.
I want to go back so then I can bet on sports stuff and make a bunch of money like Biff.
Or do just the lottery. Why not just get the lottery numbers for that giant lottery that just
would be
happened?
good too. So do that and then use some of that money to bet on sports stuff.
But you don't need it then.
Gotta keep building that wealth.
Okay, that's fine.
Like good year would be whatever year it was Auburn won the title because they were unranked going in, so you'd make a bunch of money on that one.
Ooh, you would make money.
Also, when Leicester City won the Premier League would be a good one. They had like 1,000 to 1 odds.
Whoa.
And won it.
Nice.
And I think afterwards the betting company was like, we're never doing 1,000 to 1 odds ever again because that's too much for giving out.
That's too much of a risk.
Yeah.
It's like putting everything on one number in roulette.
Yeah, like that. I think it's South Park where they do that.
What?
They do something to raise money and they win a roulette thing. Mm-hmm. And they're like, but we can just bet it all again and we'll make even more money. And they lose it all, obviously.
It's all gone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So Clemens, he was held at the Cummins unit, which is where they do the executions.
We know that place.
So, yeah, we see it all the time.
We have visited there in our stories. In our
mind palace.
Yeah.
So after 10 years in 1999, he files an appeal for clemency with the governor, who was Michael Huckabee at the time.
Let's say who was it? Okay, Mike Huckabee, weirdo.
Yeah. This is before Mike Huckabee started acting super weird.
Oh, okay.
It was probably always...
It was hidden.
It was always in there.
It was better hidden then.
So yeah, he files an appeal, says he comes from a very good Christian family, and he was raised better than his actions show, and he just fell in with the wrong crowd, and that sort of thing. He claimed his sentencing was also too harsh. 108's a long time.
Yeah, but he was
like
really
17 when they did that, or 16 or 17.
Holy cow!
And he got 108 years,
wow.
which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
And his mother had passed away in the meantime, so
it's because he threw a lock at her.
That would be pretty messed up. If it got traced all the way back, that was somehow the cause.
Yeah, maybe.
So he's trying to get out. The Pulaski County Circuit Court judge, Marion Humphrey, he supported Clemens' appeal, arguing basically the sentence was far too harsh.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and he was young at the time of the crimes, and 108 years is kind of wild.
Yeah. So he was kind of charged as an adult with excessive
sentencing. There was, I forgot to write it down, but there is a point where they were like, they moved all of his juvenile stuff to be adult because of all the stuff he was doing.
Gotcha.
One of the prosecutors that helped put him away was like, he's probably just going to get out and commit more crimes. And since we've just began the show, that's probably what happens.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that person was right.
Yeah, nobody's died yet, so there's so much more to happen.
There's still more to come. We've only just begun.
So in May of 2000...
We've been there.
Yeah.
21 years ago. Ooh.
Gross. I don't remember much about 2000. I was too young.
Yeah.
Or I was partying too hard.
At 11 years old?
Yes. I've been partying my whole life. I'm exhausted. I'm like whatever that guy is from Futurama. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
You know the one.
I know.
Slurm, from the Slurm factory. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he gets those sentences reduced by the governor to 47 years, 5 months, and 19 days, which immediately made him eligible for parole there in 2000.
Oh.
And the parole board voted unanimously to let him out on parole.
Bad choice.
Probably.
Since we're just starting the episode.
Yeah. Other stuff's got to happen.
Okay, I'm ready.
Or it's a very short episode.
Okay.
He was released on August 1st, 2000. And that is the show.
No, it isn't. Shut up.
March of 2001.
Okay.
So less than a year after he's been released.
Yes.
He robs a home in Camden, Arkansas at gunpoint.
Dude.
Stole $10,000 in cash, which
Why
they
do you
had.
have that much? Don't.
Some people are weird about banks.
Another life tip. Do not keep that much money in cash in your house.
Right. Even banks don't have all of your money all at once.
That's true.
Unless you have very little money.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep.
If you're like,
I'm there.
I have $12 in the bank.
We got you covered.
You could probably pull that all out at once. That's cool. So he goes to prison yet again and is released 3 years later on parole in 2004.
I think he's shown his colors, and he is a violent offender. And they're, like we talked about before, harsher punishment for violent offenders.
Yeah, and this was like one of those things. It's eventually going to become a big political thing, sort of like there was a guy in, I believe it was Massachusetts, got out. He got into prison because of rape, and then got out and raped and murdered somebody.
There you go.
And that was a big controversy for Dukakis, I think it was. He was running for president.
Oh, gotcha.
And he got roasted for that real hard and ended up losing.
Oh.
Real bad.
Okay.
We actually talked about it a little bit in an episode. I can't remember which one now, but it was Ricky Ray Rector, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because Bill Clinton was pressured to like not execute him.
Yes.
And that was when like
Dukakis stuff was happening.
It had happened pretty recently, and so Clinton didn't want to look weak on crime.
Gotcha.
And that's what they went after Dukakis on.
I see.
So he, this Clemens fellow, he actually had family that lived up in and around Seattle. Mm-hmm. So he decided he was going to go move there.
Nice place.
I guess. I don't know.
Never been. Me either.
Seems like a bad place based on what I've seen of Grey's Anatomy.
That show.
That show's so wild. My mom loves it.
That's where Drew and Kevin got married. Outside of. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Stupid question.
All right.
Seattle.
Yes.
In Washington State.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. They got married out at Snoqualmie Falls, which is not far outside.
I think
Seattle.
I saw that name in one of the things I was reading for some
really?
reason.
It's beautiful.
I'm glad you said it because I never would have known how to say it.
Snoqualmie.
Yeah, I think it comes up in one of the articles for some reason, but it's not.
It's not far from Seattle.
It's not particularly important. Yeah, cool. So most of this is going to take place in or around Seattle.
Okay.
But he's wanting to move there, but to do so he needs a sponsor, and he has a half brother named Ricky Hinton, and he agrees to sponsor him so he can move up to Seattle.
What is just keep an eye out on, basically babysitter or what?
I guess so, or like somebody who's like going to make sure, like if something happens, they're sort of responsible as well, maybe. Right? So he gets there and he starts working as a bounty hunter for Metro bail bonds in Tacoma, Washington, which is again fairly close to Seattle.
Okay.
But he was let go from that job because he was too aggressive, which is like amazing because like, I don't know, only bounty hunters I'm actually familiar with are all from Star Wars. And they tell them not to disintegrate people sometimes.
Good idea.
But yeah. In June 2004, so he moves up there. Yeah, I said all that.
Okay.
In June 2004, he gets married to a woman named Nicole Smith, who is a manicurist.
Nicole Smith?
Not the one.
Oh, okay. Okay, not that one.
Not a famous one.
Oh, okay.
And she had 2 children already, a son and a daughter. He works some more jobs. He worked as a plumber. He worked at like a recycling plant. He worked at a place called Nordtrack, which is a rail supply company up there. And he ends up leaving Nordtrack in December of 2005 and starts a pressure washing and landscaping company.
Okay.
And I guess it seems like it did well. In 2006, he bought a 3-bedroom house in Parkland, which again, near Seattle, for $244,950.
All right. I see you.
2 years later, he buys another house for $180,000, which he is going to use to rent out to some of the family. And he bought a third house for $265,000, which his sister moved into.
So he's doing pretty good.
It sure seems like it. The second house ended up burning down.
Uh-oh.
And they replaced it with a custom new house for $100,000.
Okay.
So you're like, how's he making all this money with this landscaping company? It seems like a small operation.
Yeah. Drugs.
It would seem so. Or other crimes as well. For instance, in 2004, there was an armed robbery that took place in a hotel in Little Rock.
So he's back in Little Rock now?
He traveled there every once in a while.
Oh, okay.
And it just so happened he was staying at that hotel when that happened. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that's suspicious. Mm-hmm. Postal records from 2005 link him to packages of marijuana that had been shipped through the mail.
Don't do that.
And there were a string of armed robberies in and around Seattle from April of 2008 and April of 2009, and he bore a striking resemblance to the suspect.
Okay, I think we know. Life lesson, just don't do that.
Yes, and also, he may not have been doing as well money-wise as you would think.
Oh, really?
Because 6 different subcontractors ended up filing liens against him for unpaid work on that house that they built.
Oh, okay.
And then he started missing the monthly mortgage payments on that house.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah. Something's going on.
And they say he gave his money away a lot to, like, his family and friends. And, like, his wife would get mad at him for that. Cause she's like, we need to pay our own bills,
to pay bills. Yeah, pay your own bills, and then you can help other people.
So, May 9th, 2009, Clemens and 2 of his cousins, they're at his house, and a 911 call is made because Clemens has apparently been throwing rocks through the windows of cars and houses in the neighborhood.
Don't do that.
And a sheriff's deputy arrives at the house. The 2 cousins are outside, and the sheriff's deputy asks for Clemens, and those guys would not get out of the way. And one of them pushed the deputy.
Don't do that.
And so they have a fight.
He and the deputy?
The deputy, the 2 cousins, and then Clemens runs out and joins the fight, punches the deputy like 3 times in the head.
Dude, don't do it.
And then another deputy arrives, and eventually he pulls his gun on them.
Yeah.
And that stops the fight right there.
I bet it does.
You would certainly hope so.
Yeah.
The 2 cousins are charged with assault, and they plead guilty. Clemens was charged with 7 felony counts of assault and malicious mischief.
That's very specific. Okay.
Yes. And then May 11th, which is just a couple days later, the wife calls the police and claims that he molested her daughter, who was 12 at the time.
Shut up.
But she took that claim back later.
Okay.
Which is always,
Which one was true?
I mean, it's a great question.
Okay.
So, also, it seems like Clemens is not totally there in the head at this point.
Why? Tell me why.
When he was arrested, he told the officers that Barack Obama was his brother, like literal brother, not like brother from another mother type thing.
Okay.
And that many white people will be killed if they don't right their ways. And he called himself the Beast. And later, he started calling himself the Messiah and calling Nicole Eve. His wife called her Eve. And he claimed that he could fly and he was going to save the world. The weirdest one, probably, he told his family that they needed to all undress together at 4 a.m.
Don't do
claiming
that.
that was God's number.
No. Okay, is he saying all this to sound crazy? Or is he what?
I think he's like legitimately deranged, because it turns out the summer before this, so back in 2008, he took a trip to New York City and meets up with this like preacher guy. And while he's there, he introduces himself to the preacher as Jesus Christ.
Oh boy.
And asked why he came to New York. He said that God told him to come, and he ends up donating $1,500 to that church.
Okay, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, okay?
Yeah. After he returned back to Seattle area, I guess it'd be Parkland, which it's close enough.
Yeah.
He talks to that preacher over the phone, and the preacher was like, "You should turn yourself in and seek mental help."
Oh my gosh.
And Clemens was not interested because he didn't want to go back to prison.
That's not prison.
Yeah, but he might have ended up in prison still.
Oh.
You know. One time, his aunt called his house, but his cousin picked up, and the cousin tells the aunt that the guy that Clemens is Jesus Christ, because I guess he's bought in on this for some reason.
Don't do that.
Yeah, like the aunt said, it seemed like some sort of cult thing was going on with them.
Do you think drugs were involved?
They might have been. It's very possible.
Sounds a lot like meth.
It's something going on.
Or something, yeah.
In July of 2009 there, Clemens is arrested and charged with second-degree child rape.
Oh.
When he's arrested, he gives his middle name as the Lord Jesus Christ.
That's not your middle name.
The officer did not write that down, which made him very angry. He called the officer a non-believer.
Oh, no.
And at this time, he's violating his parole agreement with Arkansas.
Yeah, felonies.
So they declare him a fugitive from justice. And so he has his bail for the other stuff is set at $190,000.
That's a lot.
For 8 felony charges. And he is given no chance at bail for the fugitive warrant.
Okay. So he has to stay in jail?
Yes.
Okay.
And in October, they had 2 psychologists up there in Seattle interview Clemens to determine if he's mentally fit to stand trial. When asked if he thought about hurting people, he said, "Sometimes I think about it. A person gets enough. Everybody thinks the police can't lie."
What?
Which is like a weird thing.
Okay, that's called word salad. That's when you say words that sound right, but they don't make sense together.
No, they don't.
That's word salad. I think. Don't hold me to that. Now I got to look it up.
I'll never hold you to anything. Don't you worry.
Okay.
I know better than that.
Don't trust me.
He also claimed that he had hallucinations about people drinking blood and eating babies.
Oh my gosh.
But he said those visions had stopped, so don't even worry about it.
Oh, okay.
They decided he was fit for trial, though. A-okay.
Okay, wait. Here's word salad from the Google.
All right.
A confused or unintelligible mixture of seemingly random words or phrases, specifically in psychiatry, as a form of speech indicative of advanced schizophrenia.
He's got something going on, it seems like.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was exactly. So I was right. That's word salad.
So
schizophrenia.
Yeah. So they decide he can stand trial. His wife Nicole, she writes to an attorney in North Little Rock named Stephen Morley, and he writes to the Arkansas parole administrators to be like, hey, that fugitive warrant, why don't y'all rescind that? Get rid of it.
Don't do it. Oh God, don't do it.
They do. They do it.
No. Okay.
Nicole then puts up their house as collateral to get a $190,000 bond to get him out of jail. And he is released on November 23rd. 3 days later, November 26th. Him and his family and friends, they're celebrating a Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They're giving their thanks.
Here in Arkansas?
No, this has been up in Washington State.
Oh, okay.
But they're doing Thanksgiving there. And, you go around the table, you give thanks sometimes. That's like a thing people do, I guess.
Hey, we did that.
Well, yeah, we basically did that. And so there he said that he planned to kill cops and children. So, cool stuff.
What? He's literally said his intent. This is an unstable, unhinged man.
Yes. And who gets into fights with, like, police officers and stuff.
Dude.
Morning of November 29th, 2009.
I don't like the look on your face.
I don't have a look.
Yes, you do.
I don't have a look. How dare you? He walks into a coffee shop in Parkland, Washington.
Oh, no.
Inside are 4 police officers.
Oh, no.
He walks to the counter, then turns around, opens fire on the 4 officers.
Oh, my gosh.
He kills 2 of them instantly.
No.
Mark Renninger and Tina Griswold. A third officer, Ronald Owens, tried to draw his weapon but was shot before he could.
Did he die?
He died. And Greg Richards, he got shot, managed to pull his gun and shot Clemens in the stomach.
Ooh.
But then died himself. But then Greg Richards died.
Oh my gosh, they all 4 died.
Yes.
Was anybody else hurt?
Nope. He was just wanting to kill the police officers.
Oh my.
So he goes and grabs Greg Richards, his gun, the one who had shot him,
Yeah, right.
grabs the gun and goes on the run. And so, of course, now there's a big old manhunt because somebody just walked into a coffee shop and shot 4 people.
Just straight up shot 4 officers.
Yeah.
Were they just like, sitting there enjoying their coffee?
Yeah, like they were like filing reports or something. Like,
oh my gosh.
I think it said that they were sitting with like laptops or whatever.
Oh my gosh. That's so terrible.
Yeah. And also they were all parents. So suddenly.
Oh no.
Suddenly.
You're making it worse.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just reporting the facts.
These are the facts.
Don't get mad at me.
Okay.
It's not my fault.
Wow. That's so sad.
So yeah, there's a big old manhunt. They received thousands of tips.
Yeah.
Especially because there was like a reward for $140,000.
There we go.
But he's able to avoid the police for 2 days.
Mm.
The police think that he's getting help from some of his friends and family and crime buddies and stuff.
Yeah.
So December 1st, 2:45 a.m., a Seattle police officer named Benjamin L. Kelly comes across a 1990 Acura Integra, which is it's a car.
Yeah.
Comes across a car.
Cool.
The car is stationary, but it's running, and the hood is up, but there's no one in it.
Suspicious.
And no one around it.
Okay.
So he runs the plates and learns that the car is stolen. And then he notices that somebody's approaching from behind.
Oh no.
That matches Clemens' description.
Oh no.
So Officer Kelly here gets out of the car, tells Clemens to stop and show his hands. And then Clemens, he very much did not do that. Oh. Tried to run behind the Acura and was reaching for his waist area where, he probably has a gun.
No.
And then Officer Kelly fires at him and hits him twice.
Wait, he was already shot in the stomach?
Yes.
Did he get help for that?
Yes. They said that he had a cotton gauze over it that was held there by duct tape.
Oh, that's not help. That's homemade.
I mean, that's more than nothing.
Oh,
he didn't go to a hospital.
He's a death sentence anyways. He's probably got a perforated bowel.
Potentially, yeah.
Or something. Wow, okay.
Well, I mean, how long does that take to kill you? Because he's running around for 2 days.
He's probably pretty sick at 2 days.
Yeah. And Clemens is going to be pronounced dead at the scene.
That is so sad. I mean, okay, not defending his actions because, oh my gosh, he did some terrible things. But clearly, this is a person who needed help from an early age.
Yeah, he should have followed that preacher's advice and gone to the mental institution or something.
Yeah, that was good advice. Take that one. Pick that one.
Yeah, it's not like the old days where they would have lobotomized you or something.
No.
Probably.
Maybe. But, I mean, this is somebody who needed serious help. And, I mean, the system failed him. His friends and family failed him. I mean, that's sad because all that could have been avoided probably if he had gotten the help he needed.
Yep. And so there were 6 people who were like his friends and family that were arrested and accused of helping him.
Yeah. They
claimed that they gave him cash, cell phones, and I wrote medical treatment for the gauze and duct tape.
That's a stretch.
They did something.
He would have had to have sought real medical treatment very quickly after that. I mean, he probably would have died from that wound eventually anyway.
All but one of those 6 ended up being convicted.
Who wasn't convicted?
I don't know who wasn't, but it doesn't matter. All of those sentences were thrown out.
What?
Due to prosecutor misconduct.
Okay, don't do that either.
Right?
What did he do? Or she?
I'm not sure. And it might be one of those things where if I read it, I'd go, I don't understand.
Yeah, that's true. We need interpretation.
Yeah, but that is the story of Maurice Clemmons.
That whole story, all of it from top to bottom is sad.
Welcome to a very happy show.
I mean, but for real though, I mean, just a failure all around. Instead of aiding him in that way, they should have taken him to the hospital and done a 72-hour hold. He would have not gotten out of there. He would have been deemed not okay by any other. I mean, He's having unintelligible word salad, just phrases together that do not make sense, where it's literally you're going, what? I listened to another podcast, I don't remember which one, but there was one of the people they were talking about, one of their perpetrators or whatever that they were talking about, also had a history of unstable mental health problems, and I believe that they had schizophrenia as well, and they were not being treated at the time they committed their crimes, and the police brought them in for an interrogation. And you can listen to the tape, and he just keeps talking and talking and talking. And you can hear the words. He is saying words that make sense, but together they do not make sense. Like they are intelligible words.
They're definitely words. They're just not being used right.
And they are phrases, but none of it makes sense together. It's all just ramblings of an unhinged, unstable person. And if only Clemens had gotten help when he needed it many, many years ago.
Yeah, and I don't know I don't know how or when this started.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like this was an issue when he was in prison in Arkansas.
Really?
So.
But I mean, still, he had tendencies for violent behavior way back when. So, I mean, and there's a chance him being so young, he could have been rehabilitated, but I don't know.
And at some point, it seemed like he was when he was in Seattle to start with.
Yeah.
And it just kind of all fell apart in a really wild and terrible way.
Terrible way. Man, that's sad. Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah, this is... so this happened in 2009, so I'm surprised I don't know more about it. Or didn't know more about it.
I don't remember hearing about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's definitely, like... I had to, like, sift through some of the articles because a lot was like... Let's talk about how dumb Mike Huckabee is or whatever. It's a bad look anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
There you go.
Okay. Andrew, that was well told, but still super sad.
And real horrible.
Very
You're welcome.
Horrible. Oh, and those poor police officers and their families.
Yeah. Just sitting in a coffee shop.
Just sitting there. Wow. Yeah, well, there's that.
Well, let's move on to something lighter.
Okay.
For instance, the ultimate question in the universe.
Tell me.
Is chili a soup, and why can't it be?
That is not you trickster, you.
Because like I put that poll on Twitter.
You did.
And literally nobody agreed that chili was a soup.
I mean, I guess technically you could argue that it is. I mean, it has like the same makeups of a soup. But like chili is different flavorings, and it's much heartier.
Different flavorings. I mean, there's different flavorings for soup. It's not like, oh, this chicken noodle soup is the same as the tomato soup.
You're very right. Those
are very different, but they're still soups.
Which one of them will give me heartburn? Which one is it?
Oh, that's a bummer.
It's the tomato.
Yeah, I've had a lot of tomato soup and grilled cheese lately.
It's been a good time for it.
Ever since the snow happened.
The snow.
But now it's like getting
warm. And now
warm.
it's 65 degrees, so it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm just because there's always like the joke food question, which is are hot dog sandwiches?
Technically,
because it's a piece of meat inside two things of bread, basically.
I mean,
so people are like, "Is it a sandwich?" Because I mean, I had Jimmy John's today, and that's the bread shape. It's connected on that one side.
Yeah,
just like a hot dog bun would be.
It's true, and it's a sub sandwich.
Yeah. So
speaking of sub sandwiches, let me just tell you, I got a tuna sub from what's that place, Subway, and I wanted mayo on it. Boy, they must have thought I wanted the whole bottle of mayonnaise, because there was an excessive amount of mayonnaise. I literally was like, this is oozing mayonnaise, and I'm disgusted, and I really don't want this now.
That's part of why I always liked why Chick-fil-A never put mayonnaise on anything. They don't put condiments on stuff.
Here's your condiment in your bag.
Yeah because like it's so easy to overdo it or underdo it. And
I mean,
it also, fun fact, is part of why Chick-fil-A is so fast. They're not putting all that stuff on there.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that's true.
You're taking out one of the steps. They've made some sandwiches lately where they do put stuff on it. Like they did like a barbecue grilled chicken sandwich that was pretty good.
But what about like the pickle lovers and haters for the chicken sandwich?
I like it with the pickles.
I meant, like, do they make some like pre-made without pickles?
Not usually, because they're mostly made with pickles, but sometimes you do.
Yeah.
And it would just be hard to keep track of them in the
sorter thing. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
Soup. Yeah. I mean, you could argue that it's a soup. Yeah.
I feel like chili is closer to a soup than a hot dog is a sandwich.
I think they're both equally close.
That's my hot take on the matter.
Well, apparently Twitter disagrees with you.
It's fine. You know, people used to think all kinds of things that were wrong.
That's true.
Once upon a time, people thought the Earth was flat.
And they thought the Pluto was a planet.
That's right.
It's a dwarf planet. Let's get that straight.
Yeah. I think it's funny, though, that I think this is correct. So maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well,
that Pluto was discovered and declared not a planet in less time than it takes for it to complete a full orbit.
that's really funny.
Because it takes like 100-something years to do an orbit.
Around the sun?
Yeah, because it's so far out.
Yes, it is. Wait, we've talked about this before. What is the closest planet to the sun?
Mercury.
We're the third planet from the sun.
Yes.
So it goes Mercury,
Venus,
Earth, Mars.
Yep.
Wait, the moon, then Mars.
Mars has 2 moons.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can you see a moon set? Or a moonrise, I guess it would be.
On Mars?
Uh-huh.
Probably.
The sun?
Deimos and Phobos.
That's pretty cool. You're so smart. The sun? Have you seen the pictures from the Mars thing?
Yeah.
It
looks like Utah.
It does look like a desert.
Which is what I've said before.
It looks straight up desert with a blue sun.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
It's so far away.
Is
it's
it?
tiny.
It's very cold.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be very hot since it's a desert. It's very cold.
Deserts get cold.
Yeah, but you think desert, you think hot usually.
Yeah.
But it is, in fact, very cold on Mars.
Yes. If you want a hot planet, half of Mercury and all of Venus are your answers.
Half of Mercury and all. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, because Mercury doesn't rotate very fast.
Oh.
And it's also very close to the sun.
Very close.
So the side that gets the sun is very hot, but the other side is not. Because also it doesn't have an atmosphere, so it doesn't retain any of that heat.
Gotcha.
And also, usually, most of it's usually not facing the sun at all.
Which one rains diamonds?
I think we decided that was Neptune or an exoplanet. I don't remember.
Which one? Saturn has the rings.
Yes.
And the giant storm?
Jupiter has the giant storm.
Jupiter is really big, isn't it?
Yes, the biggest one. I believe Neptune and Uranus also have rings. They're just not as pronounced.
Prominent. Okay.
And it might be one of those things where we didn't know for sure they had rings until like we were able to send like Voyager out there to look at it closer.
Wow, that's so cool. Science is amazing.
Yes.
Okay, what were we talking about? I got off on that tangent. Sorry.
Just my dumb thing about chili.
Oh yeah.
That's the last thing I remember talking about.
That was it. Yeah.
So
debatable. Up for debate.
All right. Next, we have another question. The most important question of all. Actually, are you ready to move on to this question?
Yes.
How many Star Warses am I looking at?
And I'm going to guess 2.
You're wrong.
You at 3?
You're wrong again.
1.
Wrong again.
4?
No.
How many?
It's 0 Star Warses this week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I don't know. I finished that book. I finished the other book. I don't think the comic had a new release yet, so and I've finished Rebels and Clone Wars, so I don't have to watch those anymore.
Yep.
So it's
time for you to read the big books now, Andrew. All of them.
Big boy books? Or
100% of them, yep.
Maybe.
Okay.
Which books?
I don't know.
Or are you talking about Harry Potter?
No,
again?
Star Wars. There's a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, I've read like 5 in the past month, so
keep going.
Basically.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah, what have you been looking at?
Oh man, not a heck of a. Okay. I did buy an audio. Well, I have an Audible subscription, but I got an audiobook.
Hey, me too. You talk about yours first.
Okay, it's called The Midnight Library.
Sounds sexy. Is it a sexy book like you read?
I do not read sexy books.
Don't you?
Outlander does not count. I mean, it is sexy, but
it sounds like it counts then.
That's the only one. I'm not into romance novels. I like Outlander for the Scottish bit a lot.
Yeah, okay.
For
the Scottish butt.
That's the show. I like the show for that.
The book is better though, because then you just imagine it.
No, I want to see
imagine the most perfect butt possible.
Anyway, no, The Midnight Library is actually really. I left it. I fell asleep with it playing. I have to go back at some point and find out where I was, because it was only like 30 minutes or something, but it was on, and John could hear it, and I woke up, I was like, oh my God, I fell asleep. He's like, what are you listening to? And I was like,
the way you're saying that makes it sound like it's a sexy book.
No, I'm about to explain it. He said, what are you listening to? I was like, oh, it's an audiobook I got. He's like, that was really depressing. And I was like, no, it's not. I don't think it is. It kind of is.
Maybe the part you missed was depressing?
No, because I know where it's going.
Okay.
But it is, it kind of is sad. It's basically about this woman who leads this life, and she has so many regrets in her life of like, why didn't I do this? Why couldn't I be this? Why didn't I do this? She's in her 30s.
Oh no, she's basically a grandma.
She has a part-time job, and then she gets fired from it. I'm sorry, spoilers. She gets fired from it, and she had this fiance that she ended up breaking off the engagement the day before the wedding, or a couple days before the wedding. Her mother died of cancer. Her brother doesn't talk to her. Her dad died when she was younger.
You said it wasn't depressing.
Listen,
and now you're just like, let me just dump all this depressing stuff on.
Okay, it is depressing.
Maybe compared to what we just talked about.
Okay, it is depressing. And that's what her getting fired from her job, and her cat dies. And she's like, I mean nothing to anybody. If I die, nobody will miss me. And so she makes the decision to overdose. And so when she kind of comes to again after she takes the overdose, and she's in this kind of in between place, and she doesn't realize it. She's like, where am I? It's very ethereal. She goes to this place, and it's this library, and there's a librarian there. It's basically like, this whole library is you. This is your life as at every version of you in every possible universe, basically. So there's a universe where your mom didn't die. There's a universe where your dad didn't die. There's a universe where you got married. There's a universe where your cat didn't die. In every version of that. And it's like, she can go live in that life and see what it's like. And seeing if she likes it. And if she does, she can choose to keep that life and assimilate into it. But if she starts to become discontent in that life, then she'll automatically be removed from that and come back to that midnight library. And so far, she's lived one life. She's lived part of one life. It didn't last very long. It was the guy she was supposed to be married to, and she saw what life was like with him, and it was very unhappy. And she was like, "This isn't what it was supposed to be like." And she was discontent, and she came back to the midnight library, and she started on another life where she kind of followed some of her dreams. So I'm interested to see. I'm in that part now. My prediction for the book is basically every life is going to have its flaws. It's, what do you do with it? It's some of these choices are yours. How do you make the best of it? And anyway, I'm interested to see how it'll end. It's kind of like a novel, kind of like a
book.
Yeah, but a novel. It's like a lesson learning type novel. I think it's going to be.
Okay.
So I'm interested. It's unlike most books that I read or listen to. So I'm interested.
So I mentioned last week towards the end that I've been watching a bunch of Scientology stuff.
Oh, yeah?
So I listened to, there's a podcast called How Did This Get Made, which is normally just about like bad movies and they make fun of them.
Okay.
It's got
sorry, that was a chair.
Andre from The League, and Jason Mantzoukas. He plays Rafi. They're both on it. But anyway, they did like a weird like episode in between where they talked to Leah Remini.
Yes,
who is
Scientology.
She's a former Scientologist, and she's an actress. You would know her as the lady from King of Queens.
Yes.
So I started watching her show about Scientology that is on Netflix now. It's called Scientology and the Aftermath. So a lot of talking to people who used to be Scientologists and got out and how terrible it was. And I've been listening to the audiobook that she wrote called Troublemaker, which is, I was worried it was going to be, it's like autobiography. I was worried it was going to be a lot of stuff about like not Scientology stuff. It's almost exclusively Scientology stuff.
She is vehemently campaigns against it. It is a cult.
And like a scam and everything.
Yes.
And so I've been listening to that audiobook.
How is it?
It's really good. But like I said, it's almost all Scientology, and that's what I wanted.
Yeah, perfect.
Because I was really worried it was going to be like and then this is what we were doing on King of Queens.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care about Kevin James.
Give me Scientology.
Tell me about David Miscavige. Where's Shelley? All that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So, it's been very, very interesting. I highly recommend it.
Speaking of cults,
don't join one.
Yes,
that's my other recommendation.
Life lessons. Don't
join cults.
It's a bad idea. I just listened to a podcast about NXIVM, NXVIU, the sex cult.
Yes.
But I'd listened to a podcast.
And all the sex stuff.
I'd listened to a podcast about it, but then I also just listened to a Dateline podcast episode about it, and it is just mind blowing. I mean, cult stuff to me is just very fascinating because you know what? A lot of people that do join cults, I would not say a lot. Well, yeah, a lot of people that do join cults, they're not stupid. They're smart, but they're just so desperate for a sense of something that this cult gives to them. And then they just get so indoctrinated in it. But anyways, it was that is just, it's just mind blowing. The thing, I mean, they literally branded their bodies, these people in the NXIVM thing. And it's like, it's just wild. And they talked to a couple people that are still like defending it. And it's like, what's wrong with you? I mean, literally, what's his face? The NXIVM guy. I can't remember his name. But I mean, he was having sex with like underage girls. Like, your guy is bad. I mean, he recorded like all of his everyday everything. There's so many recordings that they used against him with his own words. Also, I just finished watching a documentary. Speaking of kind of culty things, it was Murder with the Mormons or something like that.
Oh, I've got that on my list to watch.
It was okay. It was
Murder Among Mormons?
Yes, Murder Amongst the Mormons. Which I was like, oh, I haven't heard of this case. But then I realized, oh no, I have heard of this case. After I got into it, I was like, it was just kind of more in depth about it. But I do remember this case, and it's very wild, but it's pretty fascinating, to be honest. Really sad, of course, it's all tragic, of course, it's a murder.
It has murder in the name of the show, so
you kind of know what to expect.
Yeah.
But it is really sad, but man, and there is on TikTok again. I keep going back to TikTok. There are a bunch of.
You're too old for TikTok.
There are a bunch of ex-Mormon people on TikTok, and they kind of talk about their experience with the Mormon Church, and it is they grew up in it, so it's more normal to them. But it is, from an outsider, that stuff is kind of crazy. But it's also, they have some ex-evangelical Christians on there, and it's maybe just this. Of course, it sounds normal to me because I grew up with that. But other people might be like, what the heck? Same thing, But,
yeah, you'd just be like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah, it's like, clearly you're wrong. Like, clearly this is weird, but they grew up in it, it's normal. It's their normal. Same thing with stuff I grew up with. But anyway.
I watched AEW Revolution.
I'm happy for you.
It was okay.
Okay.
It was quite good and a fun show until the very end. And then it was embarrassing and bad. They did an exploding barbed wire death match, which was fine. The match itself was fine. But then they did the thing where the whole ring is supposed to explode. And it was basically like some sparklers went off and it was really bad.
Oh no.
They really
bunged that one up.
They beefed it real hard right there.
Sparklers.
Basically, it was like, here's some sparklers, maybe a Roman candle or two, which it was like,
gosh.
So like anytime you get whipped into the ropes, they were replaced with barbed wire, and they would be like a little explosion, and that was fine. It was hokey, but it was fun. But this part, the ending part, was just like, ooh, oh
kinda
no,
a hit and a miss there.
Yeah, I was ready to be like, that was a really good show, and then they just farted it out at the end there,
like Boston did.
Yes,
my dog.
He farted really loud earlier,
right before we started.
Yeah.
That was funny. That was good timing.
I don't know. Other than, I think WandaVision's the only other thing.
Let's do it.
You ready for WandaVision?
I'm ready for WandaVision. Let's break it down.
All right. So we're going to go full spoilers.
100%.
This is the last thing we're going to talk about.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So my first question, you speculated that there could be an episode 10.
There was like internet rumors of that. I guess it's not going to happen.
You don't think that's going to happen? You think it's done?
No. I think they would have been like, the secret 10th episode coming next week.
You think so?
No, I think they would have told us.
You think they'll just drop it?
No, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
That was a rumor.
Okay.
That was a popular rumor.
Okay. You got me excited. Second off, Paul Bettany confirmed what you speculated.
Yes, the joke.
Yeah, that he was the ultimate, the actor that he was so excited to work with was in fact himself.
Yes.
And that's really funny.
Yeah, that was very good.
That was very funny. So of course, other Vision. We've got Vision, and then what do they call him? White Vision?
Just White Vision, I guess, is what I see usually.
So he came into play pretty hard. Then of course, Agnes was she was a thing. She was a person there. Man, I was sobbing through like a lot of that episode. I mean, I was like, tears were coming down my face because that ending part, man. Oh gosh. Whenever he said, of course I've seen all the memes and stuff. It was like, what is grief but love persevering? When he said that a couple episodes ago, I about lost it. I mean, I was like, dang, that's beautiful. And then he said something else this week. You are my pain. You are my something, but mostly you're my love or something. I was like, oh my God, I love Paul Bettany so much.
And he almost quit acting.
I'm so glad he didn't. You know what? Every time I see him though, I can't help but think of A Knight's Tale when he is did you ever see that movie?
Nope.
With Heath Ledger?
No, I never saw it.
Well, and Robert Baratheon, the guy that plays Robert Baratheon, is in it. But Paul Bettany is in it, and he plays like some kind of. We see Paul Bettany naked in it, actually.
Caitlin and her sex books and movies.
I can't help it. That movie's from a long time ago, but he's like his like announcer. So Heath Ledger, basically Knight's Tale, he becomes a kind of a fake knight. But they have these people that come out and announce them and do these like oratorical things before the night comes out. And he's such a good orator. Paul Bettany, he's such a good actor with such great articulation. And basically he announces Ulrich von Liechtenstein, which is Heath Ledger. And I just think of that always when I see Paul Bettany. He's just incredible. He's just amazing. I love Paul Bettany. I'll shout it from the rooftops.
I think of how he used to just be a voice.
He was. And then
and
then Age of Ultron.
They made him a real boy.
They made him a real boy.
I was not a fan of these last two episodes.
Why? Because they weren't like
Because I liked it better when they were doing the weird sitcom stuff.
Yeah.
And then this was just like, all right, exposition
Marvel,
dump.
yeah.
And then the last episode was like, it's a normal laser fight Marvel thing. And I feel like that undermined what made the show interesting in the first place.
No, I liked it. I feel really bad, of course, my heart breaks for Wanda, aka Scarlet Witch. No, because I know she went
through some stuff, but also she turned thousands of people into meat puppets, and that's pretty bad time.
I understand the way grief can make you almost delusional. The grief can make you just lose your mind. And I know she's just a character, but I sympathize with her because I get it. And she just needed to escape that grief. She needed more than anything to escape that grief. And she just didn't even realize how she was hurting other people because she needed an escape from her own grief. And I mean, she's truly remorseful. I mean, but there's nothing she can do to, make up for it, what can you do?
I don't know.
How can you make it better,
I didn't like the part where like Monica was just like, you've been through some stuff, it's fine.
I liked that.
I didn't. It's like,
what
isn't fine.
What is she going to do to make it better? What can she do to make it better?
I don't know.
Nobody was hurt.
Literally, yes, they were. They were in great pain the whole time. They said so.
They were having her pain.
Yeah, they were in great pain.
Yeah,
being mentally controlled against their will.
But they were mostly okay. They were fine. But
they certainly didn't seem fine, because like when Vision unlocked that guy, he's just like, "Oh my God, please help! She's in my head. It's horrible."
Listen,
and that's how they all reacted at the end too.
They're being a bunch of whiny babies because you know what? None of them got physically hurt. They all ate and slept and were fine and physically safe. So they're going to need some therapy.
This is a real bad train of thought you're going down.
They're going to need some therapy.
I'm going to tell the conductor to pull the brakes on this one.
They're going to need a little therapy. But I mean, I'm not saying what she did was right, but I get it. I mean, It wasn't right.
I don't know.
But I get it. But also, what does this mean whenever Agnes was like, you don't know what you've unleashed? What does that mean?
I don't know.
And the whole Wanda just in a little cottage in Norway or something in the forest, and she's just sipping some tea in the morning, and then it's like, just kidding. Not
really.
I'm in the astral plane looking at this dark book. What is that about?
And you can hear her children crying out.
Yes,
so I guess
souls.
they still exist in some way.
Okay, I was reading about the comic books. I don't know if it'll follow it, but basically, I mean, it isn't exactly, because, Tommy and Billy's souls came from a shard of Mephisto's soul that was split into 5 parts. Anyways, but their souls were formed and their souls still exist, and they're out there in the astral plane somewhere now, I think.
And it was really weird when Wanda was like, thanks for choosing me as your mom, or something weird like that.
It was wonderful.
But it was really weird because it's like the children chose. Interesting. Because they're hellspawn or whatever.
No, not really.
I didn't like the Quicksilver thing.
Oh, yeah. I was like, that's lame.
They made a wiener joke. And also, he looks like Evan Peters to trick us.
Yeah.
That was it. That was kind of lame.
Yeah. I was like, it's lame. Yeah, I agreed with that. That was kind of lame. I was like, they had to have some way to put in that shock factor and then write it off.
Yeah, because, it
didn't make sense otherwise.
It's Evan Peters just for our benefit.
Yes, 100%.
Like, the rest of the characters don't know or care, and there's no reason for it.
Right.
So that was kind of a disappointment.
Yeah.
Overall, I liked the show, but I just thought they kind of...
Great show. I liked when she was like, this whole thing is my room, and these are my runes, and haha. So I wonder what's going to happen to Agnes. Is she truly, is she still in there somewhere, or all of her power is gone?
She's being mentally tortured.
Good.
For all eternity, I guess.
Oh, well.
That's basically what happened at the end there.
So the Scarlet...
Didn't those people see her?
What?
Weren't there a bunch of people around when she did that to Agnes?
I don't know.
I think there were a bunch of townspeople. Would they not just be like, can we not have another witch lady who is being mentally controlled? This is kind of messed up, right?
I don't recall. I don't recall that.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I thought it was great. I'm interested to see, first off, where the heck did White Vision go? And he has, and Wanda's vision, her vision of vision in her hex unlocked. Because, White Vision has Vision's body.
Yes.
And Wanda's vision unlocked, I guess with the Mind Stone probably powers, unlocked the memories within that Vision's body. So, what does that mean?
Yeah, he's going to seek her out and be like, I can be cool. We can hang out.
We can do this.
I can be your robot husband.
I can be your hero, baby. That song. So I'm interested to see how they'll play out. Also, there was this is just a great setup for the new Doctor Strange movie that comes out this year, next year.
Eventually.
Yeah, this year, next year. It's not is it Multiverse?
Multiverse of Madness.
That's what it is. Multiverse of Madness. And that is a movie.
Yes.
There's a lot of
Falcon and the
stuff.
Winter Soldier's coming out
this month.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said there's a new Marvel release every Friday till the end of the year. Isn't that what you said?
I don't think I said that.
Somebody told me that.
I probably said it's going to be like that. Eventually it's going to be every single week is a new release of either a Marvel or Star Wars thing, I bet.
Yeah.
Because they have 30 Star Wars shows or whatever it is.
See, I'm more interested in the Marvel stuff.
I'm interested in... Depends.
Yeah, I'm... This was really bad. The Bad Batch.
Yes, I'm excited.
And that's a Star Wars show that's coming out.
Yes, it's a sequel to Clone Wars.
Okay. It looked kind of like Clone Wars, so that's what I was wondering.
Yes.
The animation looked like Clone Wars.
The character... Oh, what's the Asian lady's name? Minong Wen?
I have no idea.
I can't remember her name now. Anyway, she's Boba Fett's buddy in Mandalorian Season 2.
Yeah.
Fennec Shan, they show her in Bad Batch. So
okay.
I'm wondering if that's going to be something where it's
tie in somewhere.
Yeah, if that's when she meets Boba Fett maybe or something. Because he's a teenager at that point.
Oh, okay. Well, all I was going to say about Bad Batch is that I was reading about it and...
Where you're just I don't know what this is or understand it.
I didn't. But my mind, I could only read it as Bad Bitch. It was only showing up. And I was like, why would they release a show called this? And
they should call it. That should be the next one. It's called Bad Bitch, starring Fennec Shand.
I mean, maybe.
There you go.
You heard it here first, people.
If they do that, I want my money.
I want money.
I need royalties for that.
But literally, I literally read. It was just a picture like of the show, like there's like a poster type picture, and it said Bad Batch on it with their logo or whatever. I was like, I could not read Batch. It was not popping up in my mind. It was only Bitch, and I was like, I don't get it. But WandaVision, loved it. I cried that entire last episode pretty much, and it was just so heartbreaking because she got, a vision of the life that she could have had with Vision, and she got to experience it, but it was really sad for her. But I think Scarlet Witch's powers made her stronger. So
yeah, definitely, especially now that she's reading that Darkhold or whatever it's called,
which I'm interested to see what that's all about.
It's a book of magic.
Is it really?
Yeah,
but I think it'll come into play at some other point.
I wonder if they care that it was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, I did read something.
It also looked different, but who cares?
Yes.
It's a magic book.
I did read something that was basically like, don't consider Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. inside this universe, basically.
Okay, that's fine. That show was mostly boring.
I didn't watch it.
The only time I liked it was, so it was tying in with whatever was coming out at the time.
Right.
The best was when Captain America Winter Soldier came out, because that's when it turns out half of S.H.I.E.L.D. is actually Hydra or whatever. So then like the whole show is like, are you Hydra? Are you Hydra? Who's Hydra? What's a Hydra? And then like one of the main characters turns out to be a Hydra agent.
Oh my God.
It was like actually...
Was it Cullison?
No, it was the beefcake guy that you'd be...
Was he the one...
I don't remember his name.
That made an appearance in Endgame when they went back in the time?
No, I think...
When Captain America got the...
You're thinking of Crossbone or whatever his name is.
I don't even know. Yeah, what was he from?
He was in... at the beginning of he was in Winter Soldier, and he was like a big jacked up S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, but it turns out he's with Hydra.
Yes.
So that's who you're thinking of. This is a different guy.
Okay.
And then he's the one who gets blowed up in Civil War in Lagos, which is when Wanda, he activates like a suicide vest. She throws him up, and that's when it blows up that building or whatever.
I don't recall that.
They reference it in the WandaVision when they talk about one of the commercials.
Oh, okay.
There's like a brand of paper towel called like Lagos.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And also, I learned it's pronounced Lagos, not Lagos.
Oh.
So
it's like Legos, but Legos.
Yes.
Legos.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's who that guy is.
Gotcha.
Crossbone, I think is his name. Crossbone. He killed Captain America in the comics.
Not in the
movie. He got blowed up.
Good.
And yeah. So
I think that's it. That's all I got. Wrapping up WandaVision there, and the show.
And we can start watching The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe.
I haven't watched any of the trailers.
Neither have I. Not super excited.
I was getting chicken or something when it showed at the Super Bowl.
Oh, cool! It's a new show. Cool.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna have U.S. Agent in it, which is a character who looks like Captain America but is a fascist.
What?
So that could be neat.
Interesting. Is it our Captain America, Chris Evans?
No, he just looks like him. Like he.
But is it the actor?
No, like he has the same type of costume, except it was like black and red instead.
Okay. Of course it was.
And it's called U.S. Agent.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not right.
USA, but then Agent.
Oh my gosh.
How fun.
How exciting.
So, yeah.
Okay.
That
Stuff
show might
to look
be
forward
good.
to. Might be good. We'll check it out. We'll talk about it.
I mean, The Winter Soldier and Falcon were in two of the better movies.
Yeah, I guess.
They were in Winter Soldier and Civil War, which are like two of the better ones.
Yeah, I guess.
So maybe it'll be good. It'll be interesting. This is why I like it when they do things that are at least somewhat different. This is why I like that WandaVision. It's why I like Captain America Winter Soldier so much, is that it's basically like a spy thriller, except there's a guy with a magical shield that he throws at people.
Cool. I like that nobody knows how to throw Cap's shield like he knows how to throw it. That's fun.
Yeah.
He's a special brand.
I like that time he picked up the hammer
I did like that time.
I like the part in Age of Ultron when he tries to pick it up and it moves just a little bit.
I think he was faking it because he knew he could move it then. And he was
Maybe.
like, oh, I can't do it. See, I can't do it. But he knew he could move it.
I just like that Thor had like a look like, oh no.
Yeah, that face. He was like,
and then
like
he, nervous
laughter.
Smile. He has like this like relieved smile on his face when it doesn't lift. He's like, oh, good. Thank goodness.
I did see some photos from the new Thor Love and Thunder movie.
Oh, they have photos out?
I think some sneaked photos of.
Did you get to see Natalie Portman as Thor?
Yes, she is ripped.
Really?
She is jacked. She's
That's
like
crazy
because she's short. She's like,
and she's also always like super skinny.
Yeah, her arms are huge.
You would have thought she would have got ripped for Star Wars, maybe, but I don't know.
No, she's ripped. She is bulky.
It still blows my mind that she was like 19 when they made that.
She was very young, but she still looks very young. She's aged very well.
Yeah, but that's just why I was like, she was probably like 35 when they made that. Like, no, she was 19 and her character was 14, which is
weird.
Yeah,
another thing.
That's a whole
other thing.
Where like the culture of Naboo, where they're like, we put children in charge of.
Don't put kids in charge of anything
of the monarchy. Like, why?
Also, Tessa Thompson, I think is her name.
I was almost gonna say Tessa Blanchard, but that's a wrestler.
Yeah, I think it's Tessa Thompson. She plays Valkyrie. There was there was photos of her as well. She looks pretty spiffy. She got a new look. Looks good.
Is Jeff Goldblum back?
No, I don't think so.
They should get him back.
I don't think so. But Chris Hemsworth is back, and then a bunch of the kind of Avengers and stuff are back as well.
Is Taika Waititi back as that rock monster?
I think so. I hope so. He's my favorite.
What was his name? Gorg?
Yeah, Gorg or something.
Something like that.
Yeah. I just watched that movie. I should know. Oh, man. That's a funny one. Yeah. He's a friend from work.
That's another one where they made a very different movie, and it was better because they did that.
It was hilarious. But it's because Taika, everything he touches is gold. I love that man.
And it's true, and he's going to make a Star Wars movie.
It's going to be good.
I hope so.
It's going to be good.
I hope so.
I do too.
I hope everything is good.
Because he's the one that made Jojo Rabbit and What We Do in the Shadows, the movie, and what was the other one I loved? Oh, Hunt for the Wilder People.
Wilder Beasts. Yeah.
Wilder People. So good. And in that movie, in Ragnarok, Sam Neill, who plays in the Wilder People, he makes an appearance on Asgard when Thor shows up and that fake play, that little play is going on.
Yeah.
Who the guy that plays Thor in that play is Chris Hemsworth's older brother.
Yes.
And then the guy who plays Odin is Sam Neill, who plays in Jurassic Park and plays in the Hunt for the Wilder People as Heck.
I think he's in Peaky Blinders.
I don't know.
I think that's the guy.
I don't know.
I've only seen like the first season.
And then who plays? Matt Damon plays.
Matt Damon.
That was great.
That's like the second best comic book cameo after so Brad funny. Pitt in Deadpool 2.
Yeah, that was really funny.
He's just like there for like
1
a second. Yeah.
Hilarious. Love that. I don't think he got paid for it either. I think he was like, "This is funny."
Supposedly not. Like I think the rumors that he asked for a cup of coffee. That was it.
I think they have to. I read somewhere where like they have to get paid like $1,000 or something.
Probably it's a union thing.
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, like, what is that to him? That's chump change to him.
That's sneezing money. That's cash that you sneeze on and throw away.
Yeah, that's throwaway money, literally.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I think that's about it.
Take us home.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate you. You can catch us on Facebook at Paint the Town Dead. You can catch us on Instagram at Paint the Town Dead, all one word. Twitter at PTTDpod. And you can email us at pttdpod@gmail.com. Please be sure to subscribe on anything you can. Rate us 5 stars on anything you can. Like anything you can. Share anything you can. All of your involvement helps us out, and we super appreciate it, guys. We drop episodes every Tuesday unless it's snowstorming, unless I'm sick.
We did make it.
We
on
did.
The snowstorm
we
because
did.
Of my forward thinking.
You did. Very good. We missed that. So good job, Andrew. Unless I'm on a plane or I get called in to work. But other than that, we drop episodes every Tuesday.
It's still always Caitlin's fault if we're late.
So far it's me. So far it's just me. I will take that. I accept that. But guys, thanks again so much for stopping by. We appreciate you. And we'll see you guys next week with another episode. Goodbye.
Yeehaw.